In June 2017, Uganda joined the long list of countries affected by the fall armyworm, a destructive insect pest that feeds mainly on maize and 80 other crop species such as sorghum, millet, sugarcane, and vegetables, causing significant crop loss. Fall armyworm is native to tropical and subtropical regions of the Americas and was first reported in Africa in 2016, quickly spreading across sub-Saharan Africa and threatening food security and livelihoods in affected areas. By mid-2017, it had spread to all districts in Uganda, damaging an estimated 450,000 metric tons of maize, equivalent to $192 million in the first cropping season of 2017. Maize is one of the staple foods in Uganda, and crop loss directly affected 3.6 million people who depend on maize for their livelihoods.
We experienced the first outbreak of the fall armyworm in the year 2016, and this was the first experience in the country. And being a new pest, and it was really ravaging. It is a pest of maize and other cereals, and therefore Uganda being a maize-growing country for food security, it brought a lot of concerns.
As a response to this invasion, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations joined hands with the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries to roll out a technical cooperation project on fall armyworm management. The objectives of the project were to significantly reduce fall armyworm infestation and damage to crops, establish a fall armyworm surveillance monitoring and early warning system, establish and strengthen mitigation measures and sustainable management of fall armyworm, protect food security and livelihoods of households. The project revitalized and strengthened 50 farmer field schools across 10 host districts of Mukono, Iganga, Bulambuli, Nakapiripirit, Lira, Amuru, Ajumani, Chibale, Kiryandongo, and Kasese. These districts acted as a springboard upon which the fall armyworm monitoring and early warning units were established.
I was selected to be one of the beneficiaries of this program of fall armyworm because I was a model farmer in this village, and I was being attacked by the fall armyworm for several times because one day I planted 2 acres of maize and I lost the whole garden. So the agricultural extension work of the sub-county selected me at least to go to be trained on the fall armyworm. And after when I was trained, I came back and I also trained my fellow friends, the group members, also to do the same thing.
These units consist of a mobile phone that is preloaded with the fall armyworm monitoring and early warning system mobile application for data collection, a centralized database, and a web-based early warning global platform that maps the current situation and helps to monitor fall armyworm throughout Africa. The data and maps provided valuable insights on how fall armyworm populations change over time in order to understand the pest's behavior and guide management practices. The units were established in the 10 project host districts, with each district having 5 established units within the farmer field schools. Each unit was provided with a pheromone trap and with pheromone lures to attract adult moths.
This phenomenon you are seeing here, it has a female smell. So whenever this male fall armyworm comes, they think that this is a female fall armyworm. So when they come, at least they want to come and fertilize this. So they come and enter inside here. When they enter, they go down in this bucket. When they go in this bucket, they don't. This drop does not allow again to come out. They just remain here. So when I come in my garden, I bring this trap in the evening. Then early in the morning, I come to see whether they have come.
Trapped male moths are counted, and this provides an indicator to farmers on the presence of fall armyworm in their fields so they can take relevant action.
So as a group also, we go around, we tell our community members that you people, you get solution because the fall armyworm has come and is destroying our maize. So that is the purpose of this trap. It does not mean that it destroys, but it alerts us as a community to know that there is fall armyworm has come and is attacking our crops. That is the importance of this trap.
As part of the project activities, the National Agriculture Research Organization conducted a study to assess the effectiveness of different pheromone blends to find out their effectiveness in capturing the moths.
We tested 6 different lures and identified 2 that are most promising for trapping fall armyworm. And these 2 trapped more fall armyworm males than the rest because they had 4 different components in them, unlike the other 4 that had less than 4. So the 4 components made them more effective and good for detecting fall armyworm in farmers' gardens.
300 pheromone traps and 3,000 pheromone lures were procured and distributed to farmers in the farmer field schools. 60 smartphones loaded with the fall armyworm monitoring and early warning system application were also procured and issued to community focal persons selected from the farmer field schools identified from the respective villages. Lead farmers recorded the trap and general crop data using the smartphones provided by the project, after which data would be sent to FAO and to the country database for analysis.
There are 2 ways. You can use the automatic system which is in the phone, which will help you to identify the pest, the presence of the pest. You only click and you move. However, that one takes long, and remember, this is the volunteer work. Farmers, they have short time in the field, so we tell them to add it manually. But also they can use the scouting, plant with plant village, where the phone actually identifies the pest by only clicking and taking to the farm to the affected plant. So you fill in all this information, and the last page is submit, and that is all. The moment you click on submit, the data will automatically go to the server.
A total of 606 agricultural extension workers and researchers were trained on fall armyworm management, adaptation, and mitigation measures. 1,651 farmers in the 10 districts received training in management and control of the fall armyworm through farmer field schools. Government also started a mass sensitization and awareness raising campaign on fall armyworm control and management.
After 3 to 4 days, females are ready to start laying eggs.
The outbreak of the fall armyworm saw an increase in the use of pesticides by farmers in a bid to prevent its spread and infestation to their crops. Farmers were thus sensitized on efficient pesticide application and best practices to restore production capacity. FAO procured 200 sets of personal protective gear and 80 knapsack spray pumps and distributed them to local governments to help in demonstration and training of the farmers on safe use and handling of pesticides.
When using these insecticides, it's not just about getting the insecticides. There's the element of timing of when to apply these insecticides, and it should be at a time when the pest has been seen and is threatening to damage more of the crops. And at that point, the larvae are still young, so they are very susceptible to fall armyworm. And should there be more damage after the first application, then the interval of application should not be very wide. We've noticed that when you delay by about 20 days, then the damage is higher than when you have 10-day intervals of spraying. And our recommendation so far as of now is farmers should not go beyond 3 sprays in a season.
As we concluded the project, in early 2018-19, what we have done an assessment and to evaluate not only the incidence of the fall armyworm, but also to evaluate the damage. The results that we found out that the incidence of fall armyworm were above 50%, but the leaf damage was less than 10%. compare with the incidence in 2016, where the incidence was over 80% and the leaf damage was greater than 50%. So you see that there has been, after this intervention, there has been a reduction in terms of the leaf damage with a substantial impact also on the yield. Therefore, the project was effective in terms of managing the pest, but also provide the mitigation measure to ensure that we control the pest effectively.
Lulenga ekitongole kikaali kwida ensawo eyo nga nsobola okutunda ensawo eyo lwisi nga tugitunda kubanga mba ndina okuliisaako abaana ntunda ku kiro nga 5 naafunayo emitwalo nga 2. Aye buli ssaawa eno nsobola okungula ensawo dange edo 7 naamanya nti ndaaliisaako abaana ensawo 2 ensawo dino 5 naatunda naafunayo emitwalo nga 2. Abaana bano benda okulya bona nga boli babona gano benda okusoma balwala benda obwidandabi. Aye ekitongole bwe kyaida nsobola okufuna ku emmere y'okulya n'okubaidandaba n'okubatwala ku isomero basoma.
Within the government resources, we have developed a specific project that helps us manage crop pests and diseases, and now we are in our second phase of the project, and working with our top policy, they provided for resources to provide that would avail resources to implement our national action plan and strategy. So as I speak now, our Follow Armyworm National Action Plan and strategy is part of our project on pests and diseases, and therefore we have mainstreamed most of these actions into our strategy as a ministry. So, and the good thing now, having built capacity of the local governments again, the local governments have taken on these approaches and they are continuing implementing them, also using the resources we avail through our extension grant. So we are sure that the experiences, the lessons learned are being rolled out, and we continually monitor through the government structures. So we are ready, and this is why you see we have had for about 2-3 consecutive years bumper harvests of maize. It is because of these control measures we have put in place.
We recognize that this intervention was pilot, was limited in nature, that it needs to be scaled up because we know that the pest is still present. We need to scale up not only in terms of the magnitude of the traps that is put in place, but in terms of also the control measure in a number of districts.